Good morning, everyone. Good morning and welcome to the beautiful and quiet Powell Street here in downtown San Francisco. My name's Ed Riskin. I'm the Director of Public Works here in San Francisco, and delighted to be here today and to see all of you coming out. We're here for a special occasion. We have a special group of folks here that I want to introduce before we get going. First, starting at your far left, the President of the Board of Supervisors, Supervisor David Chu. Sitting next to him, the Mayor of our great city, Ed Lee. The Chief Marketing Officer of Audi of America, the funder for this project, Scott Keogh. The guy whose design that we are going to be enjoying, a designer, Walter Hood. And finally, behind me, the board president of the Union Square Business Improvement District, David Nadelman. So here in San Francisco, on a beautiful sunny day here, it's a time to celebrate the innovative spirit of San Francisco. In San Francisco, we innovate on social policy, we innovate on housing, on the environment, on transportation and technology. We innovate when it comes to the weather. We call this summer here in San Francisco. When it comes to the public rights of way, the built environment, it's hard to think about innovation. It's all been built. It was built a couple generations ago, and you can't really change it. At least that's what some people think, but not so here in San Francisco. Although much of the public realm and the public rights of way in San Francisco take up 25% of the land area of our city, they were built generations ago, and they were built at a different time to serve different needs with different sensibilities, and largely built for people to pass through as opposed to be in. But we're changing that here in this city, and we're demonstrating that the built environment is something that can be subject to innovation and that can change for the better. And what we have here today is really an exemplar of that. I'm going to let the other speakers tell you more specifically what it is we're talking about here today. But I do want to thank some of the folks besides those up on the stage and those they're representing who have been a part of making this happen. And I'll start with kind of the father and shepherd of this project from the planning department, Andres Power. Without his tireless work, there's no question from navigating the city bureaucracy to working with Union Square, the designer, the public, this wouldn't happen without his efforts. From my department, his counterpart, Nick Elsner. From the Mayor's Office of Economic and Workforce Development, the mother of the business improvement districts in our town, Lisa Pagan. And from the MTA, the guy who gets all the difficult assignments and figuring out how to make this work in terms of parking, traffic, and muni, Jerry Robbins. So those are the folks on the city side. The RHAA and Bar Architects did some of the early design work. At-Tal Fine Art Services is going to be maintaining this. There's a lot of other folks to thank, a lot of work that went into this. But I want to now, it's my pleasure to bring up a man. This is a man who, he was progressive before it was cool to be progressive. And he was also innovating in the public rights of way before it was cool to innovate in the public rights of way. Back when he was Public Works Director, he started addressing alleyways in Chinatown and the Tenderloin and making them more attractive and welcoming and really improving the public realm and neighborhoods all over the city. He's since moved on to bigger and better things, but he's carried that ethic with him and forging collaboration between city departments and the business community and the private sector. Like you see here, this project is an epitome of the kind of work and leadership that Ed Lee has brought to this city. So it's my pleasure to bring you our mayor, Ed Lee.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Union Square, one of my favorite places and You may know this, but 2/3 of the millions of annual visitors make their way down here to Union Square. And that's why it produces 10% of our sales tax revenue right here in Union Square. People have known that for many, many years. They love coming here, and why not? Why not link the historic cable car stop on Market Street and make the experience of getting up here and to the rest of the city a wonderful experience. And one of the things I love about working in this city is we get to collaborate, maybe not all the time, but once in a while, and more often, we get to collaborate between our planning department, our MTA, our Department of Public Works, working with the private sector, some fantastic designers like Walter Hood and his design studio, and then gaining the confidence of people who protect this gem so much in this area, the Business Improvement District at Union Square. I want to thank everyone for coming together and then blessing with the contribution from Audi of America to collaborate on this wonderful idea of how to make these couple of blocks even better, to modernize it, to make it eco-friendly, to make it more welcoming, and to make sure that it is people-friendly in every respect. And I want to give a shout out to all of these departments because we seldom get recognized. Collaboration sometimes is behind the scenes, but this is right out in front for everybody. And I'm going to see a lot more smiles as people traverse these 2 blocks to get excited about the friendliness of this street and what we're trying to do here to change the feeling of it and to make sure that the experience invites even more people to enjoy Union Square, Powell Street, the cable car experience. I also want to give a shout out to our police department because as we transition this whole new landscape, they're going to keep everybody safe, make sure they have every opportunity to enjoy it. So I want to thank all of everyone for this great collaboration. I'm here so happy to be part of this, and to also make sure that we are investing in renewing every part of our city to make sure the tourists who enjoy this area, but even people like ourselves, people who live in the city, will love the city even more because they see that we are creative, our creativeness comes out, and it benefits everybody. So with that, I want to also introduce another champion, someone who I've worked with for very closely this past year in every way possible, and who's led a very positive dialogue between our office and the Board of Supervisors. That's our board president, David Chu. Come on up, David.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And again, I want to welcome everyone to what Mark Twain called a classic winter day in San Francisco. I am so proud to be here as part of this announcement, and I also want to say I'm here on behalf of my colleague, Supervisor Jane Kim, who is stuck in committee at City Hall. But the two of us have the honor of representing the #1 place in San Francisco where people come to shop, and when tourists on our cable cars, hello everyone, come to spend time in our incredible city. This is an announcement about how we build 21st century cities, how it is that we create community on very busy and dense streets. And from my perspective, we know that it takes a village to create a parklet. I want to thank our city government partners who have come together, certainly Mayor Lee for your vision, DPW, OEWD, MTA, DPW. These acronyms refer to city staffers who have devoted literally thousands of hours in recent years to come up with this vision. This is also, though, in partnership with the incredible merchants and businesses of Union Square. 3 years ago, when I first came into office, a number of merchants from Union Square came to me and said, David, we would like to tax ourselves more. We would like to triple the size of the Union Square Business Improvement District. And today's announcement is part of the fruition of that amazing vision. I want to thank the Union Square Business Improvement District for all that you're doing to make Union Square one of the best attractions that San Francisco has to offer. And of course, in closing, one of the most amazing aspects of this partnership happens to be our partnership with the private sector, We could not do this without the generosity of an amazing car company. And I do hope someday, in addition to seeing the Audi symbols here as part of this parklet, that we see more Audis traveling throughout San Francisco. So feel free to donate a couple to the city if you like. And with that, again, thank you so much on behalf of the Board of Supervisors. We look forward to continuing this green, this clean, this community-based revolution that we're starting here in San Francisco, hopefully to the rest of the world. Have a wonderful day.
So before I introduce our next speaker, I just want to make sure I recognize a very special person on the stage as well. I'm going to give this shout out to Wayne, our ambassador here, who's in the bright red. You'll see him a lot along the streets, but as you know, our business improvement district has been very smart about how to make sure not only people are safe, but they get treated so well when they come down here. And that is what keeps the economy going. It's just the way we treat people. As David said earlier, Audi, pretty special company. Company is a step forward here. And you know, Scott, I just wanted to let you know too that I'm still jazzed about that car that I still have in my mind that appeared in the Iron Man movie. You know, the Audi 8, it just comes roaring in. I said, I want one of those if I ever get that kind of money. But anyway, Audi is not only a style, not only a great image, but they're also a great corporate citizen. And I want to now introduce Scott Keel, representing Audi of America. Come on, Scott.
Thank you very much, Mayor. Thank you very much. Well, thank you very much for the warm welcome, and it's a great pleasure for Audi of America to be here, and it's a great pleasure for myself to be representing Audi. As mentioned, I'm Scott Keogh, the Chief Marketing Officer for Audi of America, and I think it's crucial to look at for companies. It's not only important to sell great things, and of course we sell great cars, I think it's also important to do great things. And whether you look at the racetracks of Le Mans, you look at the highways of the Autobahn, our factories in Ingolstadt, our electronic research lab here in Palo Alto, or the streets of San Francisco, it's very important that we do great things. I think a second thing that's very important with Audi is, of course, this concept of our design and our technology can have ramifications far beyond the automobile itself. We spend billions of dollars a year in research and development, and I think you see a lot of those elements in this design. When we first made our cars out of aluminum frames, people said we were crazy. They said use steel. It turns out aluminum is stronger, aluminum is less weight, it makes cars more fuel efficient, it makes cars safer. I think you'll see a good sense of that aluminum here in this lovely promenade. LED lighting, people said it was madness to use LEDs in cars. We did that, they last forever, they're more fuel efficient, they recreate deadline. And you see this in each one of our cars, and you see it being imitated everywhere. The beautiful lines of our cars, Walter Hood has done an astounding job of recreating that stunning aesthetic here in the planters and here in the benches. And of course, the following thing, of course, is Wi-Fi. First car company that has a connected Wi-Fi in our A6 and A8, and of course, Wi-Fi here connected in this 2-block spread. So it means a lot that the city, the ideas of Audi, the ideals of Audi were brought here into this promenade. It gives me a great pleasure, again, to be here. A very progressive city, very progressive mayor, very smart, idealistic business, and that's exactly where we want to be, and that's why it means so much to us. So with that, I'd like to introduce David Nadelman behind me. He is the group president of the BID, Business Improvement District, here at Union Square. Again, sincere thanks.
Thank you, Scott. On behalf of the Union Square Business Improvement District, our property owners and businesses, I'd like to thank Mayor Lee, Supervisor Chu, the Department of Public Works, the City Planning Department, the San Francisco Municipal Transportation Agency, and Audi of America, and a special thanks to Donna Figueroa for supporting this transformative project. When we embarked on this new project, it reminded us of where we have been and where we are going in Union Square. 164 years ago, Jasper O'Farrell, who fittingly has a street named after him 1 block away, was commissioned by the city to lay out a design for its streets and parks, including Union Square. The park's design was focused on being inviting, accessible, beautiful, and memorable. Today, architect Walter Hood has applied those same qualities beautifully to the Powell Street Promenade with a contemporary landscape design with features unheard of by O'Farrell, like solar technology and Wi-Fi. O'Farrell may not have imagined at the time that 100,000 people would use this street every weekend, making it the city's busiest pedestrian corridor. Now with the Powell Street Promenade, it'll be one of the best places to enjoy the hustle and bustle of the city out of its hustle and bustle. By working together, the city, Audi, and the Union Square Business Improvement District have demonstrated how partnerships can advance a vision for a better San Francisco that I know we all share. It's a great testament to see the public sector and the private sector come together to create something so magnificent. Thank you again to everyone who made the promenade possible. We hope you all enjoy this great addition to Union Square. And now, without further ado, let's open this magnificent Powell Street Promenade and cut the ribbon.